What's up, everyone? Eli here. Got a collection update video for you. Some stuff I've just kind of... shit that's been piling up over the last couple months. Something like that. What we're listening to right now in the background is the Los Necros Christos split. I've been listening to this for a while, so I just heard all the 5. It's got like 5 Necros Christos songs and 1 longer song from Los. So this is the song from Los playing. Anyways, what I'm going to show now is going to be a kind of a... you see, for me, years usually kind of blend together. I can't ever fucking remember what came out in, one year to the other. So I was like, man, I got all these new releases from 2018. And as I was looking at them, most of them were actually 2017. So I'm going to show... this is going to be like a recent release video. And then my next video will be a bunch of older shit that I picked up. But they're all CDs. So first, I'm going to show the 2018 releases. I think I've listened to all of these at this point. Maybe, no, there's a few that I haven't. Anyways, this I just picked up today. This is Infernal Legion. What's it called? Fucking Under the Cloven Hoof. This is death metal from Moribund Records. Like I said, just picked it up today. Infernal Legion are really cool. Great death metal band from Washington State, which I live like 15-20 minutes from the Washington border, so that's cool. Infernal Legion, really good death metal band. This is their 3rd album. I believe they're from the Seattle area. You almost never see them mentioned. It's really fucking weird. And their shit's all been really good. Their first album is pretty good. Their second album was way better. And so I haven't heard this one yet, but I think it's going to be quite good, so... really happy that I bought it, and I'm really looking forward to listening to it. Just good death metal, man. Next, we have a lot of hype on this one, and it really deserves it. It lives up to it. I do believe that. Got the new Hooded Menace. Ossuarium Silhouettes Unhallowed through Seasons of Mist. Like I said, this album is very well liked, and this band is well liked, but I feel like this album... a lot of people think they stepped it up a notch, and I would have to agree. Although it's been a while since I've heard their older releases. I only own 1 or 2 of them, but I don't know. I really enjoyed this one. Really fucking good doom death metal. Louis, hey, 1 second. Louis, hey, he's trying to eat some. He's trying to eat my chips. No, you can't have those. You know better. You know better. For those of you who haven't met Louis, I think a lot of you have, but Louis, come here. Come here. This is my dog, Louis. All right, go. Anyways, we're talking about Hooded Menace. Good doom death. One thing that I thought was really cool about this is they do the Celtic Frost cover on here, but it wasn't like one of the songs that fucking everyone covers. They covered Sorrows of the Moon, which was really cool. I feel like I've never heard anyone, first of all, cover that song, but nobody seems to cover that era of Celtic Frost, so really cool. Great cover. Next we have the newest EP from Destroyer 666. This is called Call of the Wild. Seeds of the Mist, they've been signed to for a little while now. It's a pretty good EP. I like it. I've listened once or twice. I fucking love Destroyer 666, by the way. I'll say that much. Something inside there. I feel like some of these songs on here are maybe not as good as the better stuff on their last full-length Wildfire, but it's still really fucking good. High energy thrash. And is it me, or I feel like they've kind of toned down? And Wildfire might have been this way too, but I feel like the black metal elements are quite a bit toned down, and it's more thrash than anything. Is it just me, or have they done that recently? I don't know. I feel like that, but it's really fucking good. Now we got the newest Necrophobic Mark of the Necrogram. Fuck yeah. Look at that. Oh yes. I fucking love Necrophobic. I'm really glad that they're back. This album is way better than their last one. This is via Century Media, by the way, who have been putting out some decent stuff. Necro Lord cover art, by the way. I think you probably have figured that part out. Anyways. Yeah, I fucking love Necrophobic. I've listened to this album only 1 time so far, but it's just great. Melodic black death metal. Excellent stuff. It'll get many more listens from me, as all their albums always do. Now we have a band who I still, to this day, I bought this like a month or two ago. I still haven't ever fucking heard this band. They got a handful of releases too. Anyways, this is Relapse Records' Mammoth Grinder. What really caught me was that Joe Patagno cover art. Fucking pretty awesome. So, Mammoth Grinder, from what I've read, because that's all I've only really read about them, they're a death metal band with maybe some other influences going on. I'm not really sure. Crust or punk or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I bought it, thought it looked cool, and I heard it's quite good, so I gotta listen to that before I fucking forget about it. Next, we have the newest Portal album. Oh yeah, I fucking love Portal. What is this one called? Son of a bitch. It's a one. Fuck, whatever. It's the newest Portal album, and it's really fucking good. As I like everything Portal have done. In my opinion, they've never done a remotely bad album. By the way, this is via fucking Profound Lore. I have never pulled out the booklet to this album until now, and this is wild. Holy shit! If you guys own this album, you know what I'm talking about. But look at this thing. That's just some. I've said this before. I use this term a lot. Cool occult shit that I'll probably never understand. This is a load of that. It's cool as fuck. I'd like to know what it all means. But, you know, I'm kind of a retard, so I probably never will. But anyways, is this album called Aeon? Anyways, newest Portal album. It's fucking great. I don't know about you guys, but it kind of threw me off a little bit. As you know, probably, if you're a Portal fan, their last album had kind of more of a clear production compared to their earlier albums. It threw a lot of people off. A lot of people didn't like it. I feel like this album, I don't want to say it's cleaner than that one even, but it's got a different production. The production on this album is different, and it makes the band sound different. It's still definitely Portal. You know Portal when you hear them, but you know, I always knew them for those, you know, those like fucking like Yellow Jacket guitar riffs. That's what I always call them. It sounded like a fucking somebody had a bucket of bees and just started shaking it. This album doesn't really have that sound. It's more clear. You know, the guitars don't sound like that anymore. You can actually hear the riffs. And I'm not saying that's better or worse. It's just different. It's a different kind of a sound for Portal. Personally, for me, my favorite part of this entire album was the Curator, who was the vocalist. His performance just commands this entire fucking album. Kept my attention the whole time. He is one of the best vocalists in death metal or black metal, whatever you want to call it. Fucking incredible. Now we have the newest band. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure this is from 2018. I could be wrong. This might be 2017. So if it is, sorry. This album is killer. It might be 2017. I don't know. Anyways, this is the newest band from Ataraxy. Kind of death metal, doomy death metal from Sweden or Spain. I think this is their like third or fourth album. This is killer stuff. If you like Asphyx or I was getting some other vibes. Definitely get an Asphyx vibe from this, but not to take away from them. I mean, they definitely have their own sound. It's very dirgy death metal with just howling, tortured vocals. They've been compared to Martin Van Drunen, but they don't sound like one of those. He doesn't sound like one of those vocalists that is trying to sound like Martin Van Drunen. He just sort of does. But yeah, man, really good vocals. Really fucking good atmosphere. This album is loaded with atmosphere. Really good. I can't recommend this enough. This will be a contender. If it's from 2017, then yeah, I can't make a list should I choose to make one. But if this is a 2018 album, it's going to be, if I make a list, I never do, it'd be on there. Next, this is my last 2018 release. This is the newest album from Judas Priest, Firepower. You've likely either heard the album or you've heard a bunch of people talk about it, and they are pretty much almost all correct. This album is kick-ass. I loved it. I've listened to it twice. It's really fucking good. One thing that's been bothering me though is a lot of people are like, "Yeah, man, this is so good. This is Painkiller Part 2." It doesn't sound like Painkiller. I don't get that. I don't fucking get that. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I really don't think they could be more wrong. I don't think there's anything on here that sounds like Painkiller. I mean, yeah, it's got some faster songs. It's got kind of has the Painkiller, Scott Travis drum sound from time to time, but overall this album does not sound like Painkiller. I don't think they're even, I mean, it's a good album. It's not, I mean, Painkiller is really fucking heavy. It's and intense. It's not really, heavy and intense like Painkiller. It's just got great songwriting. And this is another thing that bothers me, but I'm not gonna catch, many people agreeing with me on this. But a lot of people are like, also, this is their best album since Painkiller. And I almost agree with that, but I really like Jugulator. So I feel like that album does not get any respect, and that's always bothered me. I don't, if you don't like it, that's fine, but and I've always loved Jugulator. Yeah, so anyways, I don't agree with that. Now here's my 2017 releases. Whew, I got a decent amount of them. We got Autopsy, Puncturing the Grotesque. This is an EP, I believe. I don't think it's a full-length album. But yeah, Peaceville Records, like always. Kind of bummed that Peaceville's doing digipacks now. I'm not saying they just started, but they do usually a really good job with those, Peaceville, those jewel cases that only Peaceville uses. I really like those, and I don't like digipacks. This one feels somewhat sturdy, but I don't know, man. If they're gonna start putting all their shit out in digipack, I'm not gonna be a fan of that. This album right here, I just got in the mail not too long ago. I ordered it from Justin Stubbs. That is Ascended Dead. I don't know where this sits in their discography because I can't remember if this is their first full length. Because before this, I had heard some demo and EP stuff. So this might or may not be their first full length, but I think it is. Abhorrent Manifestation. I don't know why I'm showing that. There's the back. Have I shown the back? I don't know. I'm all over the place here. These guys are via Dark Descent Records, by the way. These guys are a death metal band from California, which California's been, kind of killing it with death metal lately. I really like, by the way, how Matt does his, the CD layout, by the way. Matt from Dark Descent. It's just cool. It's old school looking, and I like it. Anyway, yeah, death metal from California, really, it's, it's in the old school vibe, of course. Really fucking heavy, man. Just beat you over the fucking head heavy, and it does not relent through the whole album. It's quite impressive in its heaviness. I've only listened to it once, so I can't, I'm not going to ramble on about it. I'm not going to give a review or anything, but it's very good. I'm glad I ordered it. Next, this is something I have not listened to whatsoever. It was, a random buy. This is Relapse Records, Poison Blood. There you go. Apparently it's black metal. It's got Neil Jameson from Krieg and some dude named Jason Miller who plays in a band called Horseback, who I don't know what that is. So anyways, yeah. Picked it up. I'm not even the biggest Krieg fan. I think they're pretty good though, but I don't know. Sounded interesting, so I grabbed it. Looking forward to hearing it. Like I said, I've heard that it's black metal, but that's all I can say. That's all I know, what little I know about it. Next, here's an album. I've listened to this at least 3-4 times at this point, because I just wanted to really get a good idea, get a good feel for it. Because on my first listen, I felt really underwhelmed. My second listen, I still felt pretty underwhelmed. I feel like I like it a little bit more every time, so maybe it's a bit of a grower. But it's not a great album, but it's pretty good. This is from Century Media as well. Like I said, they've been kind of putting out some cool shit lately. This is the Lurking Fear, Out of the Voiceless Grave. They are a Swedish death metal band. Kind of a super group, really. You got Thomas Lindberg from At the Gates on vocals. And you got... I'm not real familiar with these other dudes. Sorry, that's Louis barking. Other Swedish dudes from other known bands, but I can't remember at this... I can't remember right now. But anyway, Lurking Fear. It's death metal, and it's kind of cool to hear Thomas Lindberg... use a different vocal style than you're used to hearing from him. He's done like crust type stuff, and you know him obviously from At the Gates. Melodic death metal. He had his vocal style, doing that, and this doesn't sound like any of that. It's still very clearly Thomas Lindberg. I mean, you know his voice when you hear it. It's very distinctive. But here it's a little bit more grimy. A little bit more, heavy death metal. Just a tad, but it's kind of cool hearing him do that. But anyways. It's pretty good. It's kind of an old school death metal album, but it's got a definite modern production, which I would have liked this more if it had more of a more of an organic, grittier production. It's really clean produced and modern sounding, but it's still, you know, at the same time, it's an old school death metal record. Just, I don't know, it just, the production and the musicianship and everything, they don't quite mesh for me very well. Yeah, I would have preferred it to sound a little more raw, but it's pretty good. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but yeah, check it out. Definitely check it out. Next we have, this is from Blood Harvest from, I always say Blood Harvest from Finland, aren't they? Blood Harvest, the record label. Yeah, I hope I'm right, because if I'm not, I'm just making an ass out of myself. Anyway, the band is Contaminated. Death metal from Australia. The album is called Final Man. Really interesting album art there. It's just kind of cosmic themed, really fucking heavy death metal. To be lazy about it, you know, a really lazy description, which I'm lazy, I would kind of say it's like Entombed meets Incantation. It really has kind of sounds from both those bands. It's got that, you know, that Stockholm guitar sound, that buzzsaw guitar sound, but it's got, you know, the Incantation dirtiness and dirgy moments and heaviness, and well, fucking Entombed are heavy as shit as well. Yeah, good stuff. I've always been a big fan of a lot of the shit that comes out of Australia, so when I saw that, I had to get it. Next, here's a band who I've liked for a long time, but they I haven't liked an album that they've done in, I don't know, decades maybe. We got Iced Earth, Incorruptible, via Century Media Records. I haven't heard it. I have not heard it. It's getting some pretty decent reviews, so that's cool. But yeah, I haven't heard it, so I can't say fucking shit about it. Iced Earth, if you don't know who they are, I'd be surprised if you didn't, but if you don't, they are a kind of a power metal, to be lazy, I'd say power metal band from the U.S. They're known for having, you know, a lot of thrash influences, but I feel like that varies from album to album. Sometimes there's some thrash in there, and sometimes there isn't. But yeah, I really like the earlier stuff, and I haven't liked much of, from what I've heard from the last 5 or 6 albums. But I don't know. I bought it. Hopefully I like it. And here's a Nuclear Blast release. I feel like I haven't got much from them in recent times. I haven't listened to this yet, which is retarded, but I've heard I really haven't heard anyone say much good about it. So I'm already ready to be underwhelmed, but I'm trying to go in with a completely open mind. And that is the debut album from Memoriam, For the Fallen. Pretty cool cover art there. If you know who Memoriam are, I imagine if you're into death metal, you really should. If you don't know who they are, it's another kind of super group from Britain. This band was formed after the demise of Bolt Thrower, so it's got Carl Willits from Bolt Thrower, and then some other dudes from some other British bands, but I can't fucking remember. Yeah, other really well-known British bands, but I don't. Sorry. I think one of these dudes was in Sacrilege. But anyway, like I said, I've heard really, really fucking underwhelming things about it, which is a bummer already. I haven't even heard the album, and I'm already, like, sad that it might not be that good, but whatever. Fuck it. Next, we have a release that I like quite a bit, actually, and I like this band in general. They got 3 albums, and they've all been good. Another Century Media release. We got Valenfire with For Those Who Fear Him. Valenfire from the UK. They are, once again, kind of a super group, man. What's up with these super groups today? I don't fucking get it. But it's got Gregor McIntosh from My Dying Bride, who is amazing. It's got Hamish Glencross, also was in My Dying Bride, and then this drummer, I'm not sure what band he played in. But anyway, this was Gregor. Did I say My Dying Bride? Gregor McIntosh is from Paradise Lost, I think. But Hamish Glencross was from My Dying Bride. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm right about that. Anyways, this was pretty much Gregor McIntosh wanting to do a side project that's more death metal. More in the vein of, you know, what Paradise Lost, his band, were doing earlier on. And they're doing just that. This is very much raw death metal with elements of like doom and crust, and it's very heavy and very abrasive and really fucking good. I'm not quite sure where I've only listened once, so I'm not sure where I'd place it in their discography so far. I would say their last album, their second album, is the best. It's better than the first, and this one I liked it a lot. It's but yeah, I need to listen to it a couple more times to decide where I'd place it. Whether it's but anyways, it's really fucking good, really fucking heavy. And the last one, I got one more for you if you guys are still hanging on there. This is an unusual one for me. This is not the type of thing I would normally buy, but I picked it up really cheap, and I figured I'll give it a listen. We got the newest Dying Fetus album, Wrong One to Fuck With. I think it's a very lame title, but whatever. I think it's cool that they went back to their original logo. You know, bands don't always do that. It's, you know, it's a cool logo. So anyways, I've listened to this 2 or 3 times. It is good. I mean, you know, these guys are legendary in the brutal death metal world. You know, old school guys like them, young guys like them. They just seem to be a brutal death metal staple. And I feel like they never really put out a bad album. I do kind of, you know, I listen to them from time to time. I only own one other, and I've owned a couple in the past, and I've gotten rid of them, but just not really my cup of tea. I'm not a big brutal death metal guy, but I mean, you know, I got some enjoyment out of it. I don't know if I'll keep it forever, but I always liked how they can, you know, they can go from like a, you know, pummeling caveman death metal to like to technical the next second. You know, like it's like they're kind of like a beat down death metal band, but all those dudes really know how to play their instruments. They're pretty good musicians, so yeah, that's kind of a cool balance. But I don't know. What do you guys think about it? If any Dying Fetus fans out there, how would you compare this to, you know, all their other stuff? Honestly, I've seen really nothing but great reviews, so I feel like the Dying Fetus fans are just loving the shit out of it. So that's cool for you guys. Not my cup of tea, but I did enjoy it. It's a good album for what it is. So anyways, those are my recent acquisitions that are 2017 and 2018 releases. Had some shit come in today, a couple tapes, and I got a pretty good stack of like just older CDs that I bought, also older stuff. So I'll show that in the next video, or maybe in the next couple weeks. But anyways, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Louis says hello and goodbye. And yeah, cheers. We'll talk soon.